Caitriona Balfe still hasn't accepted Sam Heughan's proposal. The reason why fans are shocked. Under the pale yellow light of the Edinburgh evening, the sea breeze from the Firth of Forth blew over the ancient roofs, echoing the sound of the waves crashing against the shore like a mournful song. In the cozy wooden room of the small house on the Royal Mile, Caitriona Balfe sat before the fireplace, the dancing flames reflecting in her eyes, thinking. On her hand was a ring, a delicate engagement ring, set with small gemstones, like the pure pledge that Sam Heughan had given her not long ago. But she had not yet agreed. The day of the proposal, a week earlier, at a romantic dinner in the garden outside the old castle, Sam Heughan knelt before her, his hands trembling slightly as he pulled the small box from his pocket. A full moon cast silver light through the trees, roses wafted the scent of the night. The scene seemed to have been taken out of a fairy tale. Sam had spoken of his love, of their future together, of how he wanted to spend all the rest of his days with her. The short smoke from the castle fireplace continued to rise, like an echo from the past. Caitriona looked at the ring, silver plate, the stone glittering. Her heart pounded. She felt love, sincerity, and hope. But she did not answer right away. She did not deny the proposal, but she did not accept it either. Why she hesitated, it was not because she did not love Sam. Their love had been tested by the time they met on the set, by the flights, the busy filming schedules, the times she had to be away from him, by Sam having to face the public gaze, the expectations, the judgment, the years behind the scenes that no one could see. Caitriona knew Sam well. Steadfast, strong, but also with layers of her soul that were not yet revealed. She knew Sam had secrets that had not been solved. The promises he made to himself, the regrets from the past, the conflicts he still carried, not to be discarded, but to be resolved. There were days when she found Sam waking up in the middle of the night, drifting between violent dreams, eyes wide open, heart racing. She asked him if he had nightmares, and he evaded them, saying he was just tired. But she sensed there was more to it. There were calls Sam received after midnight, his voice trembling, his words soft and quiet, like his heart was torn apart. Caitriona was gentle and patient. She wanted not only to hear the words of love, but also to see Sam overcome his own darkness, to move toward a commitment without hesitation, not based on hope but on certainty. Sam's personal problems. Part of it was family. Sam came from a family with a complicated past. There were events his grandparents and parents had never told him about when he was young. Sam grew up with a sense of responsibility, a constant pressure, must be a man, must succeed, must not let anyone down. He always hid his small failures, his rejections. He felt he was never perfect in the eyes of others. Part of it was his work and his voice. As a famous actor, Sam was always surrounded by the media, comments on his image, his way of speaking, his attitude. Sometimes he felt like he had lost himself, between his role, the pressure of acting, the expectations of his fans. Sometimes he wondered, can I live a real life, with all the imperfections, and still be loved? Another part was his personal feelings, his unresolved concerns. There were old friends that Sam had left behind, there were mistakes in the past that he could not forgive himself for. The people he had said to, the times he had lost control of his anger, the promises he had forgotten, and most of all, his own reflection in the mirror without the spotlight. The heart-opening conversation. After the proposal, Sam really wanted to hear Caitriona say yes. He longed for it, longed for the happiness in her eyes. But when she was silent, he saw her hesitation. One evening, by candlelight in the small living room, with the scent of tea flowers spreading, Sam sat across from her. His hand held hers, looking straight into her eyes. Caitriona, can you tell me why you haven't said yes yet? She sighed, the firelight catching on her lightly curled brown hair. "Sam, you know I love you, very much. And your proposal was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. But I want us to start from a safe place, a place where you no longer carry unhealed wounds, where you no longer worry when someone asks about your family, where you no longer fear having to play the perfect person in front of the world. I want to know you'll be okay. I want to know that when I say, yes, I don't have to worry about you collapsing under the pressure you haven't dealt with." Sam kept quiet, his eyes slightly red. He knew she wasn't being mean, she just wanted him to start a life together without ghosts. Journey of confrontation. From that night, the two began a different journey. Sam began seeing a psychologist. At first, he was shy, feeling like he was being stripped of his strength, but each time he entered the office, he felt a sense of relief as he spoke out about things he had kept hidden. He talked about his parents, about his expectations, about the time he felt so pressured that he couldn't breathe. He talked about his reactions to rumors, to criticism. He even talked about the times when he wanted to retreat, to give up all his fame if it forced him to live a fake life. Caitriona accompanied him in silence when needed, giving him encouragement. She didn't force him, didn't rush him. She was just an anchor, calm and patient. She cooked light dinners when Sam returned from therapy, so he could sit down, take off his shoes, drink a cup of hot tea and breathe deeply. Sam also began to open up to his family. He wrote to his mother, talking about the old heartaches that he couldn't talk about at the time. He visited his sister, asking about the years of separation. He faced his father, who was very strict, who had never heard Sam say, "Thank you," or, "I'm sorry," for the things that upset him. He knew that not everything would be good right away. There were tears, awkward words, heavy silences. Love is tested. During this time, Caitriona felt helpless. One night she heard Sam mumbling in his sleep, sweat pouring down her shoulders. She wanted to run to him, hug him, but Sam gently pushed her hand away, saying, "I'm fine." She understood that he didn't want her to worry anymore. But she still worried. She still couldn't let go of her insecurities completely. Sometimes she hears gossip from the outside, newspapers, social networks, malicious comments about Sam, sometimes about Caitriona because her lover is a famous person, a famous actor in a series that millions of people follow. There are curious glances when she walks with Sam at the airport, the furtive voices of reporters when she enters the cinema gate. At those times, she wonders, after the proposal, will she have to face the bright light of attention? Is Sam really ready to face that? Sam also sometimes falters. One morning, after the therapy, he looks in the mirror, sees dark circles under his eyes, hears his heart beating irregularly, and asks himself, "Am I doing enough? Do you still want to go on with me if I still have nights like that?" He is afraid that Caitriona will leave him, that she will get tired of waiting. 7. Light at the end of the tunnel. But their love was not something that could be easily extinguished. There were sunny days when Sam turned on the home video camera. Caitriona sat by the window reading a book, the two of them laughing, talking about simple things, about flowers blooming, about sudden showers of rain, about the new sofa being a little hard. These were small moments that meant a lot, showing Sam that happiness was not always about big words, but sometimes just a peaceful morning with her by his side, the birdsong and the sunshine. Sam was motivated by the therapy sessions where she held his hand, silent but full of presence. He knew that she had not left him, she was still there. And for the first time, he thought he wanted to propose again, if she said, yes, but this time not just in words, but as a man who had spent many sleepless nights, who had confronted his own darkness, who had opened his heart, who had mended things, who had loved sincerely with all his weaknesses.